Hello and welcome to the spectacular Canadian Rockies.
We made it! This is unbelievable. This is God's country.
Hi, I'm Christy Kruger.
And I'm Zoo Miami's Ron Magill. Get ready for a wild eco-hero adventure.
That's all ice. Tag along with us as we get up close to some of the free-roaming wildlife
And learn how these animals live in one of the harshest environments on Earth. You look at this area, it's like a living postcard.
It's a journey you won't forget from high above the stunning terrain of the Great White North.
To the dark, deep depths of our underground world. And we'll chill out on massive glaciers, hundreds of years in the making. That water's cold!
and warm up right beside one of the most famous hot springs in all of North America.
Whether it's heading up for a bird's eye view of the breathtaking wilderness,
To cruising along turquoise lakes filled with icy glacial water. And throughout our expedition, we're going to see it all with a South Florida student dedicated to protecting the environment for everyone to enjoy.
so join us because our adventure starts now.
The road to Calgary and our adventure into the Rockies begins here in Hialeah with 13-year-old Justine Padron, a 7th grade student with a passion for nature.
It's kind of mind-blowing that all these things connect to each other, like plants and animals connect to us, and even computers and technology, all of it connects, and I find that interesting.
That interest in the environment and volunteer work in the community pay off big time.
The Eco Hero winner for 2015. Please come up to the stage. It's Justine Padron.
On Earth Day, we surprised Justine. Her prize, a once-in-a-lifetime trip to the Canadian Rockies.
Canada is an excellent role model for conservation in general. Realize the majority of their lands are wild lands, and in doing so, they're protecting these lands in really wonderful ways.
I'm excited about seeing everything, all the animals and the plants and the skies and the glaciers and everything. It sounds so cool.
Oh, Justine, you have no idea. There you go. And so this summer, our crew headed north 3,000 miles to Alberta, Canada. We walk off the plane, step onto a bus, and drive back in time to learn about the people who first called Western Canada home. This is Heritage Park, one of the largest living history museums in the world. 127 acres, recreating the rich culture
In Alberta, there are 3 tribes that belong to the Blackfoot Confederacy.
of the first Canadian settlers.
We do some work and some cooking out here.
The grizzly bears didn't give you any trouble coming in.
Not yet.
No. This is very much what Calgary might have looked like 100 years ago.
This outdoor museum is where Justine's eco-hero adventure begins.
Very soft fur.
You touch?
Like this, absolutely. Absolutely.
Learning about life
Got him.
as a fur trader.
Oh, it's wobbling.
Taking a breathtaking ride
Oh, oh my.
on an antique Ferris wheel
My flag is still up outside. I need some help getting it down. Do you think you folks can help me?
and being called into service by a friendly Canadian Mountie.
Now, I've heard you folks are from down in the States. So I'm going to say troop ID. So we're going to take a step back. Good. Cross. Very nice. Now if I call troop, attention! Very nice.
It's a taste of life at the turn of the century. But the next day, it's all about the present as we head out of the city. Our first stop, the Calgary Zoo, and what are we going to see here today?
Well, this is a great preview to what we might see in the wild. They have one of the best Canada exhibits in the world here. They've got caribou, they've got bear, they've got bighorn sheep. Things that we might very well see when we go out into the wild.
Things we're going to see in the wild, right, Justine?
I like that attitude.
All right,
There we go.
off we go. The Calgary Zoo, known for its work in animal conservation and education.
If you want to put your hand in, I'll let him kind of go across you so you can feel.
Justine soaks it all in.
Raw bison wool. Tough to feel, actually. It's really soft and is
Oh, wow.
actually the reason that they've been hunted.
Got a good arm.
Perfect, see? So this is really great for them. It gives them a better chance to forage and look for their food.
Bears are the ultimate symbol of the Canadian wilderness, and these guys are the zoo's most popular and playful residents.
Oh, that's beautiful.
You got the black bear, you got the brown bear, you got the blonde bear. I don't know, you think the blondes have more fun?
I do.
Let's go see if we can find them in a while.
Our wild adventure led us to a pack of wolves. Well, wolf dogs, actually. Welcome to the Yamnuska Wolf Dog Sanctuary, just east of the Canadian Rockies, a place dedicated to protecting a very special breed of animal.
A lot of people, they want the beauty and kind of the fantasy of owning this wolf-like animal. But again, the more wolf that tends to be in them, the less likely they can really fit into what we define to be pet behavior.
Which is why too often these beautiful creatures, some of whom are more than 90% wolf, end up abandoned, or worse. Georgina Duckany has made it her mission to save them.
Wolves are animals that have so many similarities to humans. Family structure, their need for social interactions, all that kind of stuff. So I think for me, wolf dogs were animals that I think I could relate to.
We got a chance for some of that social interaction.
Both are going crazy. It's on my sweater.
Hi, baby. Justine even brought tennis balls for her new friends, but Kata wasn't much into sharing.
Hey, hey, hey!
Uh-oh.
It's taught me that even one person can make a big difference. Those dogs really probably appreciate that she was able to save them and give them a good home.
You fed a wolf, almost a wolf. That was pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome.
Straight ahead, the Rockies come calling as we journey into the mountains. We get up close with some breathtaking scenery and amazing wildlife, all when our Eco Hero adventure returns after the break. The sun gets an early start in the Canadian Rockies, painting spectacular scenes with a golden brush. Our first day in the mountains was one we had been dreaming about since plans for our journey began. So why waste time when there's so much exploring to do? Banff National Park was Canada's very first national park, established in 1885. Thanks to a railway that delivered curious tourists by the trainloads, Banff instantly became the crown jewel of the country. And the beauty is, these natural wonders remain unspoiled today, all thanks to a nation intent on keeping it that way.
Everywhere I turn, it's a different image. The pristineness of it, the sereneness of it. It really is a wonderful example of how people can take care of what they have for future generations.
First up, a short hike.
This is super.
Up to see the breathtaking Moraine Lake.
Now there's a view.
Yeah. You don't see this in Florida.
Nope.
From these views alone,
this is amazing.
It didn't take long for our eco hero Justine to realize she got a lot more than she was bargaining for on this trip, in a totally good way.
I was anticipating a couple of trees and then the pretty scenery, and then I got beautiful scenery and lots of trees, and it's amazing.
The lake is a sight so beautiful it actually used to be money, like on the back of the Canadian $20 bill money. It sits nestled in the Valley of the 10 Peaks. And don't worry, we counted.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Way over there.
Valley of the 10 Peaks all the way around.
Just surrounds this whole area.
You look behind me, you look at this area, it's like a living postcard.
And a living, breathing classroom as well.
I'll tell you, a great indicator of great, clean, fresh air is when you see these lichens growing on rocks.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What exactly are lichen?
They're actually a type of plant material that grows on the surface of the rock, but they come in different colors. You get them in greens, you get them in oranges, and you get them in reds, but when you see the rocks covered with them like this, you're in good, healthy country.
If there's anything more incredible than these picture-perfect views, it's the abundant wildlife that literally surrounded us on our visit. From elk to bighorn sheep, grazing deer, and yes, bears. Wildlife is everywhere, and you never know when you may cross paths or highways, as the case was with this grizzly. Justine,
Yeah?
you just saw a grizzly bear on the side of the road.
Speechless. That was awesome. Kept looking back and it was eating like grass and it would look back and watch us.
That's big. That was big. That was big. I think it's amazing to be driving down a common highway that everybody's driving down in Canada, and then all of a sudden on the right side of the road there's a grizzly bear.
And it was our bear encounter alongside the Trans-Canada Highway that reminds us of one of the country's most successful wildlife protection programs. This is one of 45 of these wildlife crossings that are all along the national park. Some of them are underground, but they all have monitors that have already captured almost 300,000 large mammals safely crossing the highway. With millions of tourists traveling through Banff, motor vehicle incidents are among the biggest dangers for wildlife. But the overpasses, underpasses, and all this fencing have worked wonders. Collisions in the park are down by more than 80%, and by more than 96% for elk and deer alone.
Maple cookie.
Since we were intruding into their home, it wasn't surprising that most of our animal encounters came near major roads, and all we had to do was stop and take it all in.
So cool, right? Yeah.
And believe it or not, we saw more elk than birdies and eagles on this golf course.
In the national parks, they don't use any toxic chemicals on the grasses here. So the elk are eating this grass because it's like this wonderful buffet. It's like top prime grass.
And the golf course gets its own free trim.
There you go. Cut down on the mowing charge, right?
Yeah.
Good dodge, good job.
All of our wildlife experiences seem to have rubbed off because another part of our adventure had us flying.
Bye.
Up to get a bird's eye view of the Rockies, with a little help, of course, from the ski lift at Lake Louise.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. You too. All right, let's go. Head on down that way.
We'll leave it to the poets to work their magic to properly describe the majestic views from atop these mountains, and leave it to our cameras to do the talking. The crystal clear skies, clean air, and cool temps make you wonder if there's a more beautiful spot on the planet.
You know, it's like a kid at Christmas. Every corner is like opening a new gift. This incredible new vista, this window into a world that's just so amazing.
Coming up, copters, canoeing, and caves, oh my, when Eco Hero Into the Wild returns. There are few places on Earth that rival the stunning beauty of the Canadian Rockies.
Very pretty.
The parks are an ideal sanctuary to find your inner zen. But if you're like our eco-hero Justine and looking to live life at a more adventurous pace, then the Rockies are the perfect place to go wild. Our motley crew of explorers were on the road again, heading up to the Icefields Parkway in search of a chilly retreat unlike anything we'd ever find in South Florida.
Look at this!
Oh my gosh!
Look at this!
Wow.
And we're gonna actually drive up into that.
Can't wait to get up there. Let's
Yeah.
go.
The Athabasca Glacier is what they call a toe of the massive Columbia ice field.
It's cold up here.
It sits right on top of the Continental Divide.
Selfie at the glacier!
It's also one of the few glaciers in North America that's easily accessible to tourists. Look at the tires on that thing, huh?
Yeah.
Almost tall as I am. Huge!
Thanks to these humongous ice coaches that have to be not seen, but ridden to be believed.
takes about 20 minutes to reach on the glacier. I think this is a good tempo.
We're riding on a glacier.
And if we thought our drive up with Sammy, our bus driver, was thrilling.
Oh, this is
Sammy.
cool.
Whoa.
Oh, this is awesome.
You're a good man, Sammy. You're
Oh,
a
it's
good
so
man.
Very old
slushy.
glacier.
Oh, this is great.
This is amazing.
Nothing could compare to standing on top of a glacier, hundreds of years in the making.
I don't even know what to take pictures of. It's so amazing. We're not in Florida anymore, kiddo.
No.
This is a little chillier than Florida.
It's freezing.
This ice is what's carved this mountain.
Say, Eco Hero!
That water's cold!
Oh my gosh, it's freezing. Oh. I'm speechless. This is amazing. I've never seen anything like it.
All right, here's some fun facts about this particular glacier. It is as deep as the Eiffel Tower is tall. It's about 700 years old, and it's actually moving.
Images taken of the glacier almost a century ago show just how quickly it's diminished, shrinking to the tune of 16 feet every year.
I hope when Justine got up on that glacier, she realized, first of all, the magnitude of the size of it, the age of something like that, to be standing on something that's really hundreds of years old, and how nature is changing on a constant basis.
A fact that became quite clear when we hiked up to the foot of the glacier.
This way is probably your easiest.
We went off the beaten path just a little bit, but guess what? All of this, about 50 years ago, was ice. It was a glacier. And now we're going up to look into an ice cave. So come on, Justine, let's go.
I'm coming.
Are we in the wilderness or on the surface of the moon?
So that's all ice.
A walk on the wild side that was totally worth the effort.
This is cool, right?
Yeah, it is.
So here we are at the toe of the glacier. In other words, it's the end of the glacier. And if you look underneath, you see these little caves. Everything is constantly changing here. If you come here years from now, this won't look the same. So it's a constantly changing environment. Powerful, beautiful, and unforgettable.
Ron's right, but when it comes to looking for a real Rocky Mountain high, we simply headed up.
All right, we promised you a wild adventure, right, Justine?
Yeah.
Well, today it gets wild.
And to go wild, we need to take that helicopter to get there.
The helicopter offers us a chance to see the Rockies from a whole new perspective.
Really say you're on top of the world now.
And gives us the opportunity to explore them in a whole new way.
All right, here we are.
Oh, that helicopter ride was so much fun. It's like a roller coaster.
You know what they say, what happens in the mountains should definitely stay in the mountains.
The hills are alive with the sound of music.
Don't worry, Julie Andrews, your job's safe.
Don't do that.
You know what? Jealousy will get you nowhere.
Thankfully, Ron returned to his more exploring, less show tunes philosophy
The best fire starter in these types of forests. So
during our hike through the untouched mountaintop wilderness.
And you know, people have this misconception that you have to have warm, hot weather to produce insects. The fact of the matter is, what you need is you just need a lot of insect food. And that's what you have up here, a lot of insect food.
And after a brisk trek through the forest,
Anyone care for water?
Water, yes.
we were overjoyed with our reward, lunch, looking down upon the Alberta backcountry.
Smiling from the mountaintop at you.
To our copter.
We soon ditched our flying machine for a time machine.
Now we're going out in the boat.
These canoes, similar to the ones fur traders used when they first ventured into the Rockies in the 1700s.
I think it's quite a view, right?
While not exactly a pleasure cruise, our trip along the Kananaskis Lake was a great lesson in history, teamwork, and sore arms. From the lake, we went down under. No, not Australia, but to where the parks all began.
This is the hot springs where many years ago people from all over the world came here just to bathe.
Now it's called the Cave and Basin National Historic Site, and believe it or not, it's the birthplace of the largest national park system in the world.
In 1883, two brothers and a friend discovered these hot springs in a cave at the foot of Sulphur Mountain in Banff. Soon, thousands arrived to enjoy the therapeutic powers of the waters. Unfortunately, visitors can no longer take a dip in the hot springs.
Close your eyes and listen to the sounds of the cave.
But the cave remains open for curious explorers like us.
Is it warm?
Yeah.
I'd like to direct your attention across the pool.
Oh my.
Oh, there you go.
That is cool, right?
Take me higher than I've ever been.
Are you having a great time?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right.
Oh my.
What an adventure it's been for our eco-hero.
That was awesome.
And for all of us.
I'm fine. I'm really fine.
As we explored the wonders of Western Canada.
1, 2, smile.
That's pretty awesome. I got to feel. I'm very happy now.
Was it wild enough for you? Yeah. Okay.
This is a lifetime experience.
There you go. Here, let me see.
I am so glad that I was able to take this trip.
But now it's up to Justine to take everything she's learned and put it to good use.
Eco-hero.
That's the key thing here, is to inspire Justine, to inspire her peers to care about this. Because though not everybody's going to get a chance to see it, it still has an effect on the quality of all of our lives.
Look at this view.
Wow.
And guess what? We are exactly 2,553 miles from
Miami.
that way. If we walked, we'd get home.
But before we head home, one last stop. And maybe we saved the best for last.
Quite a lake out there.
Isn't that pretty?
Lake Louise, with its glacier-fed waters and stunning views, could be the most iconic spot in all of Banff National Park.
Take your breath away, Mama.
And the rain didn't put a damper on our visit, as the drizzle and mist just added a layer of mystique to what was the end of an unforgettable journey.
From the peaks of majestic mountains to the depths of mysterious caves, we have experienced life on the wild side. But believe it or not, as much as we've seen and done, this is just a small taste of what the amazing Canadian Rockies have to offer.
And though our journey's come to an end, a lifetime of eco-hero adventures lies ahead for Justine, who'll take the lessons she's learned along the way and weave them into the work she's already doing for the environment.
So remember, every little bit does make a difference when it comes to keeping our planet beautiful and green. Thank you for joining us.